Never do this before starting your car. Most drivers do it wrong. Most of the damage your car will ever experience doesn't happen on the highway. It doesn't happen during hard braking. It doesn't happen during long road trips. It happens in the first few seconds after you start the engine. That short window before the oil fully circulates, before fluids warm up, before systems stabilize, is where most people unknowingly shorten the life of their engine, transmission, battery, and even steering components. And the scary part? Almost nobody thinks about what they're doing in that moment. So today I'm going to walk you through 14 startup mistakes to avoid if you want your car to last longer, run smoother, and save you thousands in repairs. Let's start with a habit that hurts your car before the engine even wakes up. Starting with everything turned on. This one is way worse than most drivers realize. If you've ever started your car and noticed the lights dim, the radio reboot, or the engine crank slowly, this is probably why. When you start the car with the heater blasting, rear defrost glowing, heated seats on, and phone chargers pulling power, your battery is doing way more than it was designed for. The battery's job is simple. Deliver one massive burst of energy to crank the engine. But when it has to feed accessories and the starter at the same time, voltage drops fast. Modules glitch, starters struggle, and your alternator gets punished trying to recharge everything afterward. The fix is simple. Start the engine first. Let it settle. Then turn on your accessories. Starting with frozen wipers. Cold morning. You hit start, and suddenly you hear a dull thump on the windshield. That's your wiper motor slamming into ice. Many drivers forget their wipers were left on the night before, so the moment the car starts, the motor tries to move blades that are glued to frozen glass. Wiper motors are built for movement, not dead-stop torque. When the blades can't move, the motor stalls, current spikes, and something breaks. Blown fuse, twisted linkage, burned-out motor. Fix? Always turn wipers fully off before shutting down, and free them before starting. Pumping the gas before cranking. This is a ghost habit from the carburetor era. On old cars, pumping the pedal sprayed fuel into the intake. On modern fuel-injected engines, it just confuses the computer. The ECU already knows exactly how much fuel your engine needs. When you pump the gas, you risk flooding the cylinders with raw fuel. That fuel washes oil off cylinder walls, increasing wear over time. Fix? Don't touch the pedal, just crank normally. Skipping the dashboard check. This mistake is sneaky because it feels like nothing. You hop in, hit start, and go. But that 1-second glance at your dashboard can save you thousands. When you turn the ignition on, the car runs a self-check. Warning lights flash to prove they work. If one stays on, oil, battery, ABS, check engine, that's your car begging for attention. Ignoring it means driving blind until something fails completely. Fix? Ignition on. Quick glance. Then start. Forcing a lock steering wheel. Ever turn the key and the wheel won't move? So you yank harder? That wrestling match destroys ignition cylinders and steering locks. When the wheel is jammed against a curb, the lock pin binds tightly. Forcing it can bend keys, crack plastic heads, or wear the lock mechanism. Fix? Gentle pressure on the key, slight wobble on the wheel, it pops free instantly. Holding the clutch down forever. Manual drivers. This one quietly drains your wallet. You press the clutch to start, then sit there adjusting mirrors, checking your phone. Meanwhile, the clutch release bearing is under constant pressure. That bearing isn't designed to stay loaded non-stop. Heat builds, grease breaks down, and eventually you get chirping noises. Grinding. Full clutch replacement. Fix? Clutch in only when ready to crank. Then release it. Draining the battery in accessory mode. Sitting in AC mode feels harmless. Music playing, phone charging, fan running. But the engine isn't on. That means the battery is powering everything alone. 10 or 20 minutes of that can weaken the battery enough to cause slow cranks. Then, the alternator has to work overtime to recharge it, shortening its lifespan too. Fix: if you're waiting more than a minute or two, start the engine or shut accessories off. Starting just to move the car a few feet. This ruins low-mileage garage queen cars faster than people expect. Cold starts dump extra fuel into the engine. If you shut it off immediately, fuel and moisture condense inside, oil gets diluted. Exhaust rusts. Sludge forms faster. Micro moves in the driveway cause long-term damage. Fix: combine short moves with a real drive, or shorten oil change intervals. Long remote start idling. Remote starting for 20-30 minutes feels luxurious, but cold idling is an engine aging machine. Engines warm up slowly at idle, running rich the whole time. Moisture and fuel build up in the oil. Catalytic converters and filters never get hot enough to clean themselves. Fix: use remote start sparingly. Drive gently instead, it warms faster. Revving the engine immediately after startup. That loud cold start throttle jab? It's brutal inside the engine. Oil hasn't fully circulated yet. Bearings, cams, and rings are still waiting for lubrication. Revving too early accelerates wear and causes ticking, chain rattles, oil consumption over time. Fix: let the engine idle calmly for a few seconds before driving. Dropping into gear instantly. Starting the engine and immediately slamming into drive or reverse. That first second is chaos inside the transmission. Fluid is cold and thick. Pressure is still building. Dropping into gear too fast causes harsh engagement, mount stress, and long-term wear. Fix: wait 2-3 seconds after startup before selecting gear. Turning the wheel at full lock while parked. Cranking steering at full lock while stationary puts maximum stress on steering pump, rack, tie rods, ball joints. Cold fluid makes it worse. That whining sound? Your pump begging for mercy. Fix: roll slightly before turning. Avoid full lock when stopped. Driving with fogged windows. This causes more it-came-out-of-nowhere accidents than people admit. Fogged glass scatters light and destroys depth perception. Backing out with a tiny scraped peephole is basically driving blind. Fix: give the defogger 20-30 seconds. Clear all glass before moving. Driving with blocked ADAS sensors. Modern cars have cameras and radar for lane assist, collision warning, emergency braking. But if sensors are blocked by snow, dirt, stickers, or misalignment, your safety systems are blind. Worst part? The car still feels normal. Fix: clear cameras and sensors before driving, especially after storms or windshield replacement. So now you know the 14 startup habits that quietly destroy engines, transmissions, batteries, and steering systems. And the crazy part is, most of these take only seconds to fix. Small habits, massive savings, years added to your car's life. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, because this channel covers the things nobody teaches you in manuals. And don't make the next big mistake at the gas pump. Click the next video. Never do this before refueling, because 90% of drivers still do it. See you there.